Hi, my name is Mindi and I am the spiritual alchemist. And I welcome you to this beautiful experience of what I am going to be talking about. I have full body chills. I'm going to be talking about what it's like when we feel as though we have lost our joy. And really, what it means when we know that we had it at one point in time. And let me just give you a little bit of backstory for me. I just recently lost my father. It has now been 38 weeks since he is no longer on this plane. And I can just share with you that when he was alive a year ago, I was pretty joyful, as we can say. I just had this spunk about me. And if someone actually said the words to me, "How joyful are you?" I couldn't give you on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, but I could say, I'm up here, okay? Or like here, okay? I was pretty up there. And I wasn't measuring it materialistically. I wasn't measuring it by the amount of money I had in the bank. I wasn't measuring it by anything other than the fact of how I was feeling in the moment. And it really didn't have anything to do with the fact that my father was still alive per se. It was just the fact of how I was feeling then. And I guess it kind of did have a lot to do with the fact that my father was still alive because, well, we'll get to that. So one of the things I really want to discuss, and I'm going to be sharing with you three tools, three tools, uno, dos, tres, three tools that I have found during this journey that have really helped bring back the joy. And I want to share these with you because during this time, and you may or may not have had a loss like I have, you could have experienced a job loss. You could be experiencing the loss of a pet. You could be experiencing the loss of a relationship. You could be just experiencing the loss because of what we're all dealing with COVID. That in and of itself is a loss we're all dealing with humankind, right? So whatever it is that the loss that you're dealing with, the joy, I think we all have been experiencing some sort of where is the joy? Or maybe it's not where is it, but maybe like a little spark of it. You're missing that spark that you once had. And that is what we're going to talk about today. So where do we go from here? What I can share with you, each one of these three tools I'm going to share with you, like I said, I have full body chills right now, thinking about how I'm going to express these to you and how what's going to happen for you when you actually do 1, 2, or all 3 of them. Of course, I'm not in your back pocket and I have no control over the fact if you do 1, 2, or 3. But what I can share with you is that even just doing 1 of them, you will find a benefit. And I do know that the power of doing just 1 of them will bring you some sort of joy and will definitely bring you a bit better. And that, to me, is something that is just wonderful. So the first thing that I want to share with you is getting out in nature. Now, I am extremely lucky. I live about 150 steps away from the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. So me getting out in nature is like, oh, it's fabulous. And I know that not everybody has the Atlantic Ocean as their front yard. However, majority of the people have grass or dirt or some trees, something. Even if you live in the city and you do not have trees at your disposal, you have a little thing. Even if you can't get to Central Park, even if you can't get to a park, you have something that you walk past every single day that there is probably a tree. And you walk past that and you think to yourself, you've never thought about the fact that that is nature, and that you never thought about the fact that you could stand there and take your shoes off and ground yourself and just be in that space. And that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about you planting your feet on the ground and just being there. I had a doctor say to me a couple months ago that I needed vitamin D. And it was really, really scary for me, for someone that lived at the beach. And he said this to me because I had been in the hospital so much that I wasn't getting outside. And I'm sharing this with you because this was the reason why I realized the power of getting out in nature. I forced myself to get outside and just look up, just have my feet in the dirt, just like we used to do when we were kids. And I feel like that is such a lost art. I don't want to get my feet dirty. Oh my gosh, I don't want to mess up my pedicure. Oh my gosh, it's mud. But flowers grow in mud. Vegetables grow in the mud. And we can grow in the mud. It's beautiful. So the first thing is to get out in nature. That's the very first thing that will absolutely bring up the joy meter. And here's the other reason why is you're going to interact with nature. You're going to interact with the bee floating by, the bird floating by, the people walking by that you don't normally see. And you guys, that's the rub. You're going to hear me say that's the rub a lot. I learned that many years ago with Dr. Michael Beckwith. So here is the power of this, is the joy will return even if you're losing the spark, but even if you've lost the whole spark. You'll walk back into your home going, wow, I just had a bee land on me and I didn't freak out. Or I think I just saw two birds on a wire. Or I just saw my neighbor I haven't seen in so long. Whatever it is that you've just experienced because you are out in nature is something that you would never have experienced if you weren't out in nature. And that is why it is my first thing. So let's move on to the second thing. So wouldn't it be nice if you were feeling so much worry? And now this is definitely something that people feel when they have lost a spark of joy, is they feel so much worry. So wouldn't it be nice if you felt a lot of worry, but you could still find something to be grateful for? That almost makes me cry. I actually have tears in my eyes, and I'll tell you why. I have to get a drink for a second. Hold on. Why? Why does that almost bring me to tears? When my father was dying, my father was dying. And by the way, I just want this to be known, okay? You didn't know he was dying. And I can say this now, 38 weeks after, that like now we know he was dying. But when we were in it, we didn't know he was dying. We thought he was going to come out of it. We thought he was going to go back home to my mom. Like, she was renovating the bathroom for him. Like, we just didn't think he was dying. Okay. Now looking back on it, of course, it's obvious that he was. Okay. But anyway, in the space of all that was happening, and we were very upset, obviously, I kept thinking to myself, there's gratitude here, Mindy. Got to be grateful. Even during lockdown, when everybody was so upset, I was grateful. I was grateful. You can't make that up. 1837. Can't make that up. I will share with you at the end why that's meaningful. Actually, maybe I should share with you right now. 1837 is 6:37. That is a special time in my family. That alarm goes off every single day with a family song. That song that just came on, that was a song that my father loved. And I was just talking about my father. That is not a coincidence. That is, as they say, that is God's way of remaining anonymous. You heard that here first, by the way. That coincidences are God's way of remaining anonymous. That, my friends, is the power of gratitude. All right? Okay. Let me collect myself for a moment. There's power in all of this. Finding gratitude in moments that you think to yourself, there's no gratitude in. And that is where the second thing that you will find joy. Your spark is going to come back. Now, each one of these three things, I know some people, and mind you, there are things that can happen, things that you can take and things that you can do that you can bring your spark back temporarily. Okay. And I'm not advocating those things right now, that you can be down here and you can go right back up here. But unfortunately, once those things happen, you go right back down. We're talking about that you could be down here and each one of these things can bring you up. And, we're talking about it like this. So gratitude does that. And the reason why gratitude does that, and I will just share with you, I've been practicing gratitude for probably 15 years. I have so many gratitude journals, but why do you practice gratitude and how does it shift you? So I learned this specific thing from Tim Ferriss, and Tim Ferriss says to be grateful for a teacher in your life, in your past. Now, it can be somebody that you that actually was a teacher in your life, in grade school, in college, or that taught you something, okay? Or it could be somebody that actually like taught you, let's just say, to tie your shoes, taught you how to tie a shoe, to tie a shoe. Now that necessarily was not a teacher, but that was somebody who taught you something. And I think it's really a beautiful practice to actually be grateful for that person. Because one thing that I can share with you is when you actually go back in your life and you think about the teachers in your life, how they have shaped you to become who you are. That one in itself can show you, can bring you some joy. I have chills right now saying that. The second thing to do is to find something in your present moment, something right here that you are grateful for. So where's something right here that you are grateful for? So I am just going to pick this Buddha right here. I am grateful for that Buddha. A really great friend of mine bought that for me. And believe it or not, it is a bookend, and she herself has the other one. And I absolutely love it. I love it because I know that she has the other one, and I've had it for so long. And every time I go to this little area with all my crystals and everything, I think about her all the time. Every time. And every time I go live and I see it, I think about her. I'm so grateful for that thing. And then the third thing that you're grateful for is something very, very, very small. Something very, very, very small that you see in your environment, but that you haven't looked at in a very long time. So yeah, so I look at this Buddha like every single day. So I wouldn't be grateful for that one, for the third one. But something very, very small that like I don't look at every single day, but that I know is there. Well, that might be, this little thing over here that I'm not going to take down, but you know what that is. Or something that Tim says, it can be anything, anything at all, anything that you want to be grateful for. Because one thing about gratitude is it's not about being superficial. I know that when we begin, sometimes we're grateful for those things that are, the superficial. But that's not what this is about. This is about really being grateful for something wholeheartedly, that you actually feel it. Just like how I was expressing with the Buddha. And you know what? When I'm done, I'm actually going to call her and let her know that I still am grateful for this gift, because already it's so long ago that she gave that to me. So moving on, once you express this gratitude, and once you express any type of gratitude, whether you express gratitude to a friend, whether you express gratitude written on paper, whether you express gratitude really out loud to yourself in the mirror, you're going to feel a bit better. And that's really what this is all about. Because when we have lost our spark of joy, or even a little spark, we are desiring to feel a bit better. We're desiring to feel this sense of Wouldn't it be nice if I felt a bit better than I do right now? And how can I do that? Well, using one or more of these tools, you will get to that point. Now, I didn't finish sharing with you because the alarm went off. What happened with my father really quickly with the gratitude, and I really desired to shift to share that with you real quickly. So my father was in the hospital, and it was really in a really crazy time. And I thought to myself, find gratitude, find gratitude. There's got to be a moment here that you can find gratitude. And then all of a sudden, these grateful moments started flooding in my head. And I picked up my cell phone, I opened up a note, and I started writing. And I have to share something with you. If I had not done that, what I would have done was opened up a note and started detailing what was in front of me. And I would never have ever desired to ever open up that note again. And if I did open it, I probably never would have deleted it because it's such a whatever. But this note that I have now is a list of probably 30 something, maybe 37, I don't know, 30 something gratefuls about that day, April 10th. And it's 2 days before he died. April 10th. And that experience and what we were experiencing. And the gratefuls are so beautiful. And I know what I was doing. I know that I was attempting to raise my vibration. I know that I was feeling, I was crying, and I was in this space of ugh. I know what I was doing, but I have to share with you, the joy was like out the window. Every time that I open up this note and I read it, I experience a sense of joy. I experience a sense of like, I am so happy that I created this. And it says April 10th, 2021. And I know it was 2 days before he died. And I know exactly where I was sitting, and I know exactly where he was laying, breathing. So gratitude has the impetus to shift your vibration to up. Now, for those of you that don't know about Esther and Jerry Hicks, actually Jerry has crossed over, but Esther talks about, Jerry was around and he talked about it too, the emotional guidance system. This is bringing you back because gratitude really does help lift you up. And so does getting out in nature, because getting out in nature will definitely bring you back. I know this to be true for so many reasons, which I will not illustrate on this video. So let's get to the third. Let's get to the third. Let's get to the third. The third tool. So wouldn't it be nice if you were feeling blah and you could become present in the moment? And then you could regain that sense of a bit better. Wouldn't that be a delight? So what does being present in the moment mean? I remember asking my brother this a couple months ago, and he just was like, you're just sitting, and then you're aware that you're sitting. And I said, well, okay, that actually is true, because normally you're just sitting and you pick up your phone and you're not really present. But if you're sitting and then you are aware that you're sitting, that actually can mean that you are present. You are experiencing being present, as long as you're not picking this up, right? But let's really just activate being present in the moment. Because when we do activate being present in the moment, when we do activate being present in the moment, that's another coincidence. Just absolutely amazing. Okay, so practicing presence, what we're going to do is find a nice comfortable seat. Find a nice comfortable seat, and make sure that your feet are planted on the floor. Now, if you're already lying down, that's okay too. I'm going to ask that you roll out your shoulders. Now, you can do this wherever you are. You don't necessarily have to roll out your shoulders every single time and, get into it when you're practicing presence. I've done this in the middle of Times Square, and I've done this on the Long Island Railroad. And, I certainly don't sit there when I'm on the Long Island Railroad. And I've done this on the Long Island Railroad with two people next to me. Okay. So I'm not going to sit there and, roll my shoulders and, whatever. But I do plant my feet on the ground, and I do sit, in a certain way to get myself in this position. What you're going to do, though, is just get yourself ready, really. And even when my brother did it, what was interesting when he did it is he sat in this position and he didn't even realize that he did it. But because your feet want to be planted on the ground, on the floor. And why is that? Your feet want to be planted on the floor because it grounds you. It grounds you in the here and now. Now, some people like to sit with their legs crisscross applesauce, which is their legs, like this. Actually, that's not true. That's really is not indicating how the legs are. But if you don't know what crisscross applesauce is, it's like I don't really want to say it because it's not really politically correct anymore. But Google it, okay? So you want to make sure that your feet are planted on the ground, on the floor, and you are relaxed. Now, if you feel any energy anywhere, any tension anywhere, notice where you feel that energy and that tension. And just notice for a second. And you want to just relax wherever you feel that energy and tension. And this might be the first time in a really long time you've done this. You sat up straight, your back is straight, your feet are planted on the floor, and you've sat like this for a period of time. And the thing is, I'm going to share with you, we haven't even done what we're about ready to do, is that the minute when the phone has a notification, what do you do? Do you stop being present? And do you go look at the phone? Or do you keep in the mode? And this really does help with joy, because the moment we look at that notification, depending on who it is and what it says, can really impact our joy. So we're in this moment, and we're going to take a deep breath together. I will count down in reverse Spanish. But before we do that, I am going to invite that you blink your eyes closed. I will do it with you. You blink your eyes closed. Now you can bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And I will count down from 5 to 1 in reverse Spanish, and then I will bring my tongue to the roof of the mouth, and we will take an inhale, hold it, and then exhale. When we open up our eyes, I'm going to ask you to look for a color, and then we will be done. So here we go. Close your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in with your tongue up on your, take a deep breath in. Keep your eyes closed for a moment. Notice how you feel in your body. Do you feel tingling? Do you feel not tingling? Do you feel light? Now blink your eyes open and look for the color blue. I just realized I'm wearing blue. Any derivative blue, I see turquoise. Roll out your shoulders. I feel like I'm vibrating a different, that felt really, really good. So we're going to bring our hands together. Bring our hands to heart center. And we'll just bow our heads and say Sat Nam. And you don't certainly have to do that every single time you become present, but it's a beautiful practice to end the breath. Now, just ask yourself in this moment, how do you feel? And that was just one breath. Now it's a practice, and it's just one breath, but it's a practice of coming to the seat, closing your eyes, and taking that breath. That brings you back some joy. You know, I just will share with you for a moment that one of my clients is a mom of 3, And she says to me all the time, she says, Mindy, I can't practice gratitude all the time like you. And, I get out in nature all the time with the kids, but I don't ever really get out in nature like you tell me to. But man, do I love to practice presence. That's the one thing that I always do. That's why I'm saying, if you can't do all three, just find one that might work for you. And then weave in the other two. Because really, it's about finding what works for you. And one of them is going to work for you more than the others. And that really is what my message is tonight. Is for those of you that are missing that little spark, for those of you that know that, you know what, I had it and I'm missing it, and wouldn't it be nice if I had it again? I got you, and I can help you find it again. I've got so many more tools in my toolbox, and I would love to share them with you. So sometime in February, I haven't picked the date yet, I'm going to be having a class, and I would love for you to join me on it. So if you're interested, send me a DM. I would love to invite you to it. It's going to be $18. It's going to be a live interactive class. So let me know if it's something that you're interested in so I can send you all of the information. I'm very, very excited to work on this and to be working with you. And so just let me know how we can work together. This has been really, really, really fun. And I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. And if you are somebody who really feels that, yes, I desire any of those questions, wouldn't it be nice if I could find some gratitude, even though I'm worrying? Yes, wouldn't it be nice if even though I'm blah, I could still find presence? Yes, wouldn't it be nice even if I just am just in this place, I could still get out in nature and actually not just run across the street and get into my car, but I could actually experience nature the way children do. And that, it takes time. That takes time. But it's not a lot of time. It's just for you just to be. But that is my piece for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, much love, and namaste. This has been a dose of Mindy. I am Mindy, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.